Welcome to the Desert Shave Den, and welcome to week 4 of October the Witching Month. For today's shave, Carpathia takes us to the forests of Transylvania. Let's get started. Hi everyone, thank you for watching. My name is Joseph. So I hope your October is going well. It's hard to believe we're already at week 4 of October the Witching Month, where I've been featuring different soaps from Southern Witchcrafts, and this week we'll be featuring Carpathia. As you can see, I actually have the lather for Carpathia already whipped up in my Fine Accoutrements lather bowl. Let me know what you think of this. I know some videos I show the entire lather making process, and other times I fast forwarded through it. Today I'm trying just starting with the lather already made, so let me know what you think about that. Right now I'm applying the Parasso Green pre-shave. It's always a good way to start a shave, and then I'm actually going to be using my Rockwell 2C on the 3-plate. That's the chrome finish, and I've got it loaded up with a Vashkad blade. So let's get lathered up and get this going. If you watched my previous video where I feature the Labyrinth soap, you'll know that I said I think I overhydrated it, and I probably did, so I didn't want to make the same mistake with this one. This one, I think I really nailed it. I mean, we'll see if I need to add some more water, but it's got a nice sheen, no bubbles. It's got just a really solid yogurty texture that I think we're all aiming for. I don't know if you probably just saw it, but I just had to stick my nose in the bowl and take a whiff of this amazing scent. Even just lathering up is worth the shave in and of itself. Just really enjoyable. So I think this will be a really enjoyable shave. So as I get started with the first pass here, this will just be a with the grain pass to get everything set up for the remaining 2 passes. Let's talk about the scent of Carpathia. So on the Southern Witchcrafts website, they say Carpathia is a tribute to Bram Stoker's Dracula, a dark and brooding masculine scent centered around accords of black tea, exotic musk, and evergreen balsam. And the specific notes they list are evergreen forest, musk, herbs, rose, coffee, that's a really interesting one, and black tea. And this, I mean, so far this has to be possibly one of my favorite scents that I've experienced this month as I've gone through these different Southern Witchcraft scents. Those top notes, balsam and evergreen forest, those are definitely there. I mean, it feels like you're in the woods or something, but maybe it's the rose or maybe it's the coffee, but there's something that, I wouldn't call it a spice, but there's something there that it's definitely not just wood. You're not just at the lumber section smelling cedar at Home Depot. It's also not just mulch and mildew or moss in the forest. Like it's got a refinement to it, and I think that's what makes it so nice. As when you first smell it, you get hit with, like, I think it's balsam. It's a very pleasant refined wood smell, but there are those base notes or those middle notes really add something to it. It almost feels like you're in a high-end like boutique shop that smells like, I don't know, different scented candles and potpourri, but again, it's still very woody, very earthy, so it's still very masculine. Yeah, so if any of that sounds good, I recommend you give this one a try. I wish I had the matching splash for it. As you'll see later, I'm going to pair it with the Druantia splash from Southern Witchcrafts, and while that's not a perfect match, Druantia is still based, in forest and woods and earthy stuff like that, so I think it'll be a good pairing. And as when I do that, I'll do a side-by-side comparison. So with the first pass done, everything's feeling good. It's really hard to screw up a with the grain pass, both with a soap like this that provides great cushion and glide, and then also the Rockwell 2C on a 3-plate. I would say it's comparable to a 34C, maybe a little more efficient, and with the right soap, maybe even a little smoother. it's hard to, like, if I was stranded on an island for the rest of my life, I would probably pick the 34C just because it's like that old car that just does the job, gets you where you need to go, and it just never breaks down. It's got like 300,000 miles on it. That's a 34C. The Rockwell 2C performs comparably. Sometimes I'm just in the mood for loading a blade into a 2-piece rather than a 3-piece. But I will say the 2C on the 3-plate I would say it's more efficient when I go across the grain on my mustache than the 34C. So, I mean, in that sense, sometimes I can get closer to a true BBS, even on the mustache area, than the 34C, but it's really just a coin flip and what mood I'm in for a given day. And here you can see I'm doing my across the grain pass. Most often when I'm done with across the grain, I'm basically in darn fine shave territory, and I could be done. It's just the third pass for me, because my mustache, I usually don't do a third pass. It's the third pass is usually just ends up being my cheeks and under my jaw, and those generally are fairly low risk areas for me. So if I can do that third pass against the grain and get BBS smooth on my cheeks and darn near it all under my chin, I mean, the rest of my mouth and mustache area, they'll be fine. And so that's generally why I go for 3 passes. It is really nice to, once you have your technique down, I know if you're a novice wet shaver like I was not all that long ago, that it can be frustrating where you're going along with the shave, think you're doing everything right, and then as you're rinsing, or maybe even after you apply the aftershave, a couple nicks pop up and you're like, darn, where did that happen? But once you get to that zen place where you have a soap that provides good cushioning, like Southern Witchcrafts, and you have a blade and a razor combo that does the job, that's when the traditional wet shave is most enjoyable, because from that point, if you want to play around with razors and blades, certainly you can do that. But it's just really nice to be able to play around with the scents and the aftershaves. And that for me, that's when it's most enjoyable, when I don't have to worry about the sort of mechanics of it, and I can just enjoy the products that I'm using, especially the software, as some people call it. So after 2 passes, I'm in darn fine shave territory, maybe upper socially acceptable, lower darn fine shave, but as I was saying, this is it's just really easy to go from darn fine shave to BBS for me. As you see, I won't be lathering up my mustache. The 2C does such a good job on that. It's done. So yeah, just gearing up for the third pass here. And let's get it started against the grain. And I don't know if you've experienced this, but I've actually found sometimes when, as I go through the different passes, I don't know if lather sets up in a certain way, or maybe it's as the hydration on my skin changes throughout the shave, but sometimes I find the peak yogurtiness and slickness and hydration, everything you want in a lather, it actually happens on the second or third pass rather than the first pass. Of course, the first pass you're trying to get it perfect, because you don't, when you're starting the lather, you're not even in the shave yet. You can take that extra time to get it right, get it dialed in. But sometimes just leaving it in the bowl for a few minutes while I do my other passes, all of a sudden on the second or third pass, I'm like, wow, this is better than I could have gotten it from scratch. So I don't know, let me know what you think if you've had that experience as well. Here you can see I'm just going more across the grain, but it's a little bit of airs against the grain on my chin. But again, I rarely get nicks there, and there are some coarse hairs there, so it's nice when I can just do that last pass and get a good shave out of it. Now, as this shave starts to come to a close, I just want to talk a little about the splash that I'm using. So the splash will be Southern Witchcrafts. I've got it in the full size. It's the only full size splash that I have of theirs, but I'm using the Druantia scent. And I think that's complements this Carpathia soap very well. Druantia, according to Southern Witchcrafts website, is a tribute to the Druid celebration of the winter solstice or Yule. And the scent notes are cedar, oak moss, rosewood, moss, cypress, tobacco, fungus, sandalwood, mitsutatake, myrrh, amber, orange, and ginger. So just a really great complex scent, great for fall and winter. So now I just did a cold water rinse and toweled off, and here you can see the bottle. It's a really cool opaque black bottle. Got a nice screw top, and I mean, sometimes just randomly I'll go into my bathroom and I'll just open up the cap and just smell it and just enjoy it. I gave it a good shake. There's no way to show it on camera, but it has a really cool milky color. I don't know if that's intentional or if that's just the ingredients they use. But it's just really cool, kind of plays into, like, I think of ghost ectoplasm or something. It plays into the creepiness of their brand. And it's alcohol free, so it goes on with no sting. The skin feel afterwards is just awesome. And I did want to do a side-by-side, just to kind of sniff them, because I haven't really done that side-by-side. Oh, almost lost the cap there. But so there's the Carpathia. I was using a sample size. Definitely got the balsam on the Carpathia, but, I feel like the Druantia also has a kind of an elegant woodsy finish, so I'm really happy with this. So anyways, that's the shave. It's hard to believe next week is going to be Halloween. This has flown by, but thank you again for your interest in my channel, and thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time.